The film Riddick, released in 2013, begins with a striking image, a vulture pecking at a human hand. This hand belongs to Riddick, our protagonist, who is in a dire situation. He finds himself stranded on a stark, lifeless planet, suffering from a serious injury to his foot. Determined to survive, Riddick cleverly uses two rocks to set his broken leg, but the pain is excruciating, causing him to scream. Unfortunately, this noise attracts the attention of dangerous wolf-like creatures that roam the planet. In a desperate bid to escape these predators, Riddick jumps into a murky water pit. He holds his breath and waits for the wolves to leave. Once the coast is clear, he emerges from the water, exhausted but alive. He takes a moment to catch his breath and adjust his injured leg. However, the danger isn't over. One of the wolves, having lingered nearby, launches a sudden attack from behind. Quick on his feet, Riddick throws a piece of metal to distract the beast. As it chases after the metal, Riddick swiftly puts on his goggles and scans the area, spotting the rest of the wolf pack lurking in the distance. After tending more to his leg, he starts his arduous trek across the arid desert. As he wanders, Riddick discovers a cave. Inside, he finds a precious source of water and drinks deeply to quench his thirst. While exploring the cave's depths, he notices some steps leading further in, but his exploration is cut short by the ominous sound of wolves approaching the cave entrance. Just as the wolves draw near, a strange creature emerges from the water and attacks one of the wolves, killing it and scaring the others away. Riddick turns to confront this new threat but manages to fend off the creature and escapes unharmed. He then travels far and seeks refuge among rocky outcrops to protect himself from any lurking dangers. Through a series of flashbacks and revelations, we learn about Riddick's past. He once lived on a planet where he became king after assassinating the previous ruler. However, becoming king brought him little peace, as many sought to dethrone him and claim the crown for themselves. This violent tradition dictated that anyone who kills the king automatically becomes the new king. One fateful day, a woman who lived with Riddick attempted to kill him, but Riddick outsmarted her and killed her instead. He suspected that a man named Vako was behind the conspiracy, as Vako coveted the throne for himself. In a strategic move, Riddick proposed a deal to Vako. He offered to make Vako the king of his realm if Vako would guide him to a place called Furia, a planet whose location had been lost over time. Vako, eager for power, agreed and sent Riddick on what he falsely claimed was a journey to Furia, accompanied by his loyal followers. Upon arriving at the planet, Riddick quickly realizes that he has been deceived. This is not Furia, but a deserted wasteland. Understanding that he has fallen into Vaako's trap, Riddick is attacked by Vaako's allies, who have come to finish him off. He fights back vigorously, but during the chaotic battle, he falls from a mountain. Believing him dead, Vako's men leave the planet, thinking their mission is complete. Alone and battered, Riddick must learn to survive in this harsh environment. He finds a pond to drink from and begins catching fish for food. Despite his desire to leave this desolate planet, he knows he must endure. In an unexpected turn, he adopts a wolf cub, hoping to raise it as a loyal companion. As time passes, Riddick introduces small doses of the local poisonous creature's venom into both his and the wolf systems, aiming to build immunity. This strategy is crucial for his survival, ensuring that if they encounter these dangerous creatures, the venom won't harm them. One day, Riddick returns to the pond where he previously encountered the venomous creatures and methodically eliminates them, clearing the area for himself and his wolf. Days turn into weeks, and the wolf grows stronger. One day, the wolf brings back a strange object that resembles a ball, prompting Riddick to realize that he is not alone on this planet. There are other humans nearby. Following the wolf, he discovers a human-made space station. Inside, he finds it abandoned but manages to scavenge some food. Among the items, he stumbles upon a magazine article featuring himself, revealing a hefty bounty placed on his head for anyone who can deliver it, dead or alive. After leaving the space station, Riddick notices dark storm clouds looming overhead, signifying an approaching rainstorm, which feels ominous to him. He quickly returns to the station and activates a communication device, sending out a distress signal to all planets in the universe, announcing his presence. Riddick understands that to escape this forsaken place, he needs to call for help, and he is confident that someone will respond. Soon enough, a spaceship arrives, but the people aboard are not there to rescue him. They are hunting him. As the ship lands, its leader secures the vessel and removes its power nodes, placing them in a safe location under tight watch. These power nodes are essential for the spaceship's operation, and the leader, who is a guy named Santana, knows that Riddick could easily seize them to escape if given the opportunity. When the crew arrives at the space station, one of Santana's trusted men discovers a warning note left behind. The note cautions that if they wish to survive, they should abandon their ship and leave the area immediately. Meanwhile, Santana has a girl held captive on the ship. He orders his crew to release her, but as she attempts to flee, he shoots her without hesitation, ending her life. Riddick watches this unfold from the shadows. The leader Santana, confident in his abilities, declares that he knows Riddick is nearby and has been tracking him closely. He boldly states, "You'll have to confront me, and I won't leave this place without your head." Hearing their leader's arrogant proclamation, the crew expresses their concerns, fearing Riddick's cunning and dangerous reputation. Although they are hesitant, they are forced to follow their leader's orders. To keep an eye on Riddick, they set up large surveillance cameras around the space station. As time passes, they notice another spaceship approaching, which alarms Santana. He wished to eliminate Riddick alone and claim the bounty for himself. It soon becomes clear that this leader has been sent by Vaco, who harbors a deep grudge against Riddick. Despite the growing tension and the unfolding drama, the incoming spaceship lands near the space station, setting the stage for an inevitable confrontation. The leader of this new group is a man named John, and he is accompanied by a female companion. From the very beginning, John makes it clear to the leader of the other group that he has no interest in getting involved in their business. He insists that he should be allowed to focus on his tasks without interference. However, the leader is not someone who easily agrees to such terms. He is portrayed as a selfish and greedy individual. And to ensure that John cannot pull any tricks, he takes the power nodes from John's spaceship and locks them away in a safe. Only after securing these valuable items does he reluctantly allow John to stay. The leader is always seen wearing the keys to his safe around his neck, a constant reminder of his cautious nature. One night, Riddick and his wolves manage to damage one of the surveillance cameras that the leader had set up. Despite John's warnings that this could be a trap laid by Riddick, the leader decides to investigate the camera's damage with his companions. John cautions him, urging him to reconsider, but the leader dismisses his advice and insists on going anyway. When they arrive at the location of the damaged camera, disaster strikes. One of the leader's companions falls into a trap and is killed, followed by another companion who meets a similar fate. The leader watches in horror as a third companion is dragged away into the darkness by Riddick. This series of unfortunate events leaves the leader feeling extremely distressed and anxious about the situation. John, on the other hand, is fully aware of what is happening but remains committed to his promise of not interfering in the leader's affairs. However, as the situation becomes increasingly desperate, the leader approaches John, seeking his help. Unfortunately, he does not treat his companion well, which leads to a confrontation where John retaliates by punching the leader. Despite their differences, John reassures the leader that he will help him, but he has one condition. He wants Riddick to be handed over to him for just one day. After that, the leader can do whatever he wants with Riddick. It becomes clear that John has his reasons for wanting to capture Riddick. Taking the first step in his plan, John shoots Riddick's wolf and attaches a tracking device to it, knowing that the wolf will lead him straight to Riddick. They follow the wolf and eventually find Riddick in a cave. To their shock, they discover the lifeless body of one of the leader's men hanging there. Riddick sets this up as a diversion to confuse them, and John quickly realizes what has happened. While they were busy in the cave, Riddick had made his way back to the space station. They rush back, but when they arrive, Riddick is nowhere to be found. They conclude that Riddick must have stolen the power nodes from the safe. However, the leader is reluctant to accept this idea, arguing that the key to the safe was around his neck the entire time. Filled with anxiety, he opens the safe, fearing that Riddick might have planted a bomb inside it. To his surprise, when he opens the safe, he finds all the power nodes still intact. This time, they decide to leave the safe open, thinking it might be a safer option. Seizing the opportunity, Riddick swoops in, steals the power nodes, and hides them underground. When John discovers this, he is furious. In a moment of desperation, John suggests they try to contact another ship via radio, but the bad weather makes it impossible to establish communication. After a while, Riddick appears before them, having discarded his weapons. He proposes a deal. If they give him a spaceship, he will return the power nodes. He warns them that time is running out because rain is approaching. With that, Riddick leaves, leaving the leader and John in a difficult position. As Riddick is making his escape, the leader attempts to kill him from behind. In a surprising turn of events, Riddick's wolf leaps at the leader, knocking him down. The leader retaliates by throwing the wolf away. Seeing this, Riddick rushes to help his wolf, but one of John's companions intervenes and injects Riddick with a sedative, causing him to lose consciousness. The leader then kills the wolf and takes Riddick captive. When Riddick finally regains consciousness, he finds himself trapped inside the space station, with John sitting across from him, asking about his son. It is revealed that John's son was part of the group that had brought Riddick to this planet. However, Riddick remains silent, warning John of the imminent danger they all face. Frustrated by Riddick's lack of cooperation, John ultimately surrenders him to the leader. The leader, armed with a large sword, prepares to execute Riddick by decapitation. Just as he begins to swing the sword, rain starts to fall, causing the creatures buried in the ground to emerge. Disturbing noises fill the space station, creating an atmosphere of fear among everyone present. Suddenly, they are attacked by the creatures that inhabit the area, resulting in the deaths of two of their companions. Witnessing this chaos, John realizes that their only chance of survival lies with Riddick, who possesses the power nodes necessary to operate the ship. Just as John is about to free Riddick, the leader intervenes. Despite the leader's attempts to stop him, John manages to unlock a chain that is binding Riddick's foot. Seizing the moment, Riddick uses the chain to kill the leader. He then proposes a deal to John. he will hand over the power nodes in exchange for a spaceship. John agrees to Riddick's terms, and together they set off on a bike to retrieve the hidden power nodes. However, during their journey, John's bike breaks down, forcing him to ride with Riddick. Eventually, they reach the location of the power nodes. As Riddick is retrieving them, he reveals to John that he did not kill his son. Instead, he explains that John's son died while trying to kill others to save his own life. While Riddick shares this information, they are ambushed by one of the leader's remaining companions. Riddick manages to kill the attacker, but not before their bike is damaged. With no other options left, as they navigate their way back, a horde of creatures descends upon them, launching a fierce attack. Riddick is injured during the onslaught. Seeing this, John takes the power nodes from Riddick and decides to proceed alone. After tending to his wounds, Riddick stands his ground and fights off the creatures by himself. However, a particularly large creature is about to overpower him when, just in time, a ship arrives and begins firing at the attacking creatures. This timely rescue is orchestrated by John, who has returned with the ship as he promised. He successfully saves Riddick's life and hands over the ship to him. With the ship now at his disposal, Riddick finally has the means to return to his home planet. Initially, he apprehends the man who had brought him to this planet on Vako's orders. Riddick holds a gun to the man's head, demanding to know where Vako is. At this point, Riddick's only intention is to eliminate Vako. However, the man refuses to provide any information, leading Riddick to kill him in frustration. Afterward, the man's widow reveals to Riddick that Vako has ascended to the throne and is now the reigning king. The movie concludes at this pivotal moment, leaving the audience in suspense about what Riddick's next move will be in his quest for revenge against Vako. With that, the movie ends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.